Did you know that Joseph Stalin was responsible for the deaths of millions, with estimates ranging from 10 to 20 million people during his regime? That's more than the population of many countries. Joseph Stalin is undoubtedly one of the most controversial figures in history. His role in shaping the Soviet Union and the world during the 20th century is still widely debated among historians and scholars. Some view him as a hero who industrialized and modernized Russia, while others see him as a ruthless dictator responsible for unimaginable human suffering. Regardless of one's perspective, it's undeniable that Stalin left an indelible mark on world history. Stalin's life was shrouded in mystery, and his rise to power was nothing short of remarkable. From humble beginnings to becoming the supreme leader of the Soviet Union, Stalin's journey is a testament to his cunning, ambition, and willingness to do whatever it took to achieve power. Despite his reputation for brutality, Stalin remains an enigmatic figure, with many aspects of his life still unknown or obscured. As we delve into the life and times of Joseph Stalin, we'll explore the complexities of his personality, his policies, and the impact he had on the world. Stalin's legacy is still felt today, with ongoing debates about morality and leadership, the role of government in society, and the dangers of totalitarianism. So, buckle up, and let's embark on a journey to understand the life and reign of one of history's most controversial figures. Born in 1878 in the small town of Gori, Georgia, Stalin grew up in a poor family and was raised in a strict Orthodox Christian household. His early life was marked by poverty, violence, and a strong desire to escape his circumstances. Stalin's education was limited, but he was an avid reader and developed a passion for literature and poetry. As a young man, Stalin became involved in the Russian Revolution of 1905 and was eventually drawn to the Bolshevik Party, led by Vladimir Lenin. His early years in the party were marked by activism, arrests, and multiple imprisonments. Despite these setbacks, Stalin persevered, and his loyalty to Lenin eventually earned him a spot on the party's Central Committee. After Lenin's death in 1924, Stalin found himself in a fierce power struggle with Leon Trotsky, another prominent Bolshevik leader. Through a combination of cunning, manipulation, and strategic alliances, Stalin outmaneuvered Trotsky and eventually merged power, becoming the supreme leader of the Soviet Union. As Stalin solidified his grip on power, he set out to transform the Soviet economy and society. His vision was to create a modern, industrialized nation that would surpass the West in terms of economic and military power. To achieve this, Stalin implemented a series of radical policies, including the forced collectivization of agriculture, rapid industrialization, and the purging of perceived enemies of the state. The first five-year plan, launched in 1928, aimed to rapidly industrialize the country and make it self-sufficient. The plan was a massive undertaking that required the relocation of millions of peasants to urban centers and the construction of new factories, infrastructure, and housing. While the plan achieved remarkable results, it also led to widespread famine, poverty, and human suffering. The forced collectivization of agriculture was a key component of Stalin's economic plan. By taking control of agricultural production, the state aimed to increase food production and reduce the power of wealthy landowners. However, this policy led to devastating consequences, including the Ukrainian famine, which claimed millions of lives. Stalin's purges were a hallmark of his regime, and they targeted perceived enemies of the state, including intellectuals, artists, politicians, and ordinary citizens. The Great Purge, which lasted from 1936 to 1938, was brutal, with estimates suggesting that up to 1.5 million people were executed or sent to labor camps. The 1930s were marked by a climate of fear, paranoia, and betrayal, as people were encouraged to inform their neighbors and friends. The NKVD, the Soviet secret police, was the instrument of Stalin's terror, and its agents were responsible for thousands of arrests, torture, and executions. As World War II loomed on the horizon, Stalin's attention turned to foreign policy and the threat of Nazi Germany. In 1939, Stalin signed the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact with Hitler, a non-aggression treaty that stunned the world and led to the invasion of Poland. When Germany launched Operation Barbarossa in 1941, Stalin was caught off guard, and the Soviet Union suffered massive losses in the early years of the war. However, through a combination of propaganda, patriotism, and strategic alliances, Stalin rallied the nation and eventually contributed to the defeat of Nazi Germany. The war had a profound impact on the Soviet Union, with estimates suggesting that up to 27 million people lost their lives. The war also led to a significant shift in the global balance of power, with the Soviet Union emerging as a superpower and rival to the United States. As the war ended, Stalin's position was strengthened, and he continued to consolidate power, eliminating potential rivals and dissenters. The post-war period was marked by increased repression, with Stalin becoming increasingly paranoid and isolated. Despite his grip on power, Stalin faced opposition from within the Communist Party, as well as resistance from the populace. The roots of this opposition lay in the widespread suffering and hardship caused by Stalin's policies, as well as the lack of freedoms and human rights. The Soviet Union's international relations were also strained, with the onset of the Cold War and rising tensions with the Western world. Stalin's rigid ideology and refusal to compromise led to a series of conflicts and crises, including the Berlin blockade and the Korean War. In the early 1950s, Stalin's health declined, and he became increasingly isolated. His final years were marked by a series of illnesses, suspicion, and paranoia, culminating in his death on March 5, 1953. Stalin's legacy is a complex and multifaceted one, with both positive and negative impacts on Soviet society and the world at large. On the one hand, he industrialized Russia, defeated Nazi Germany, and played a significant role in shaping the modern world. On the other hand, his policies led to unimaginable human suffering, repression, and the deaths of millions. As we reflect on Stalin's life and reign, we're left to ponder the nature of morality and leadership and the dangers of unchecked power. Stalin's actions raise important questions about the role of government in society, the importance of human rights, and the impact of ideology on human lives. In conclusion, Joseph Stalin was a complex and multifaceted figure whose life and reign continue to fascinate and repel us. His impact on world history is undeniable, and his legacy serves as a warning about the dangers of totalitarianism and the importance of moral leadership. As we explore the lives of history's most fascinating figures, we're reminded of the importance of understanding the complexities of human nature and the role of individual agency in shaping the world. Stalin's story is a powerful reminder of the importance of human rights, freedom, and the need for moral leadership in our world. If you're interested in learning more about Stalin's impact on history, be sure to check out our related videos on totalitarian regimes and the Cold War. You can also explore our future playlist on the history of the Soviet Union and the Russian Revolution. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Please like, comment, and consider subscribing to CyberTheo.